Hi, this is Laura Holyoke, and I have a quick overview for you, kind of going over the syllabus for Foundations of Human Resource Development, and hopefully answering any questions, general questions that you have about the course, and why I've set it up the way that I have. First of all, the text that I chose, Human Resource Development, A Concise Introduction. Yes, I know it's written in the UK, and so some of the words are spelled different than how we spell them in the United States. However, I liked how the editors laid out the book, that they broke it into fundamentals of HRD, the process of HRD, and then contemporary challenges of HRD. I thought about another kind of all-inclusive reader, but that was 600 or 700 pages, and it was mostly an edited book made up of articles without really covering foundations. And my goal was for us to cover foundations. In a nutshell, Jim Goodnight, I think, captured HRD very well. And that's the idea that treat employees like they will make a difference, and they will. And part of that is really developing our human resources. One of the big differences between human resource development and human resource management is managing falls on more of the technical side, if you will, and development is simply that. It falls, many things fall under it, including adult learning, professional development, leadership development, organization development. I think I said career development. It's how we develop our organizations and especially the individuals within our organizations to help our organizations succeed. I think I just talked about this. So here's kind of the big contributors in terms of what makes up HRD. So organization development, developing organizations, and in order to do that, you also develop people within. Professional development, personal development, and then performance administration. We will read more on all these as we get into our text. So course evaluations. And I never know what to call this section. Learning activities, the course evaluation, what your grade is going to be based on. 3 different areas. The first one is working discussions and notes that you put together as a result of that discussion. Secondly, case studies. And then third is an HRD self-development project. So the working discussions and notes. If you've ever taken any of my classes before, you'll know that I usually have some sort of discussion time for students to arrange to meet synchronously at the same time. That can be face-to-face, that can be on our Zoom link, that can be on the telephone, but I want you to do it synchronous. I can't even say that. Synchronous. I want you to be there, please. Anyhow, part of my intention behind doing this is social learning. I think we tend to soak in a lot more information when we hear it from other people, when we can ask questions in real time, and when we also get different people's insights or how they may explain something that's oftentimes different from ours and helps us with the understanding. During these discussions, I would like for you to keep your own notes, and then after the discussion to submit your notes, and including in your notes all of the participants in your conversation, the date, and then the place that the discussion took place. And your individual notes should really be 7 to 10 bulleted points. They may be kind of 2 or 3 sentences in a bulleted point. However, things that you talked about during your discussion. They should be concepts related to HRD, and they may be about the case study or case studies that people have chosen to do within the chapters. So the case study, one per section. The book again is divided into 3 sections. The first one is chapters 2 through 6 and is the fundamentals of HRD. Each one of those chapters has a case study. You may choose any one of those case studies with which to do this assignment. I'm thinking that probably when people are meeting for a discussion, it might be a good idea if you all chose the same case study. That way you can talk through it with your group. So the deliverables on the case study is a short summary of the case study, 1 to 3 sentences. It may be 1.5 paragraphs. I'm just kind of giving you an idea. And then to please answer all the case study questions thoroughly in complete sentences. If you can build the question into your response, better yet. Writing and grammar do count. And then please take some time to look up that case on the internet or something about that organization, and then include in your case study 1 or 2 pieces of additional relevant information, relevant in that it relates to the case study itself, and then to please cite your sources. It may just be something that you found interesting. It may be what's happened since that case took place, or something that even led up to it that wasn't included in the case. So 3 pieces. I will put out a rubric here very soon for writing up the case studies. And then finally, I thought this would be a good idea and hopefully fun for you as well. This is a HRD self-development project, and it's your own training and development. And oftentimes we say in our lives that, you know what, I'm too busy to improve. I don't have time to do this, and no thank you. So I am providing time and space in this class for you to choose an area that you'd like to improve. I gave you quite a long list of possible books that you can use in our course syllabus. That is not an exhaustive list, but it should give you an idea of what sort of leeway you have in terms of choosing a book. If you choose a book that is not on the list, please just double check with me first that that is an okay book to use. And we'll talk about that more as the semester moves on. I have here just a list of some of the books that also are included in your syllabus. These are also some different ones, some ones that aren't listed in the syllabus, but I thought most of them were good ideas. You'll do 2 things with the self-development project. One of those areas is writing up the highlights of the book as you saw them, and the main ideas, and how it relates to a contemporary HRD issue, which my guess is you probably won't have troubles doing that. And then secondly, so that's 1 and 2, and then also to then tell me how you are using that, or using the knowledge, information, or how you will use it in your professional and maybe even personal life. The second part is to design a training or workshop. Kind of an hour, could be an hour and a half. It's something that you do not need to deliver, but in this training or workshop, what I'd like for you to do is to complete, have handouts for the audience, and have design an activity that goes along with the learning, and then to have a polished presentation, something that is like a PowerPoint, that again you don't have to deliver, but that is ready to go as if somebody else had read the book and they don't have time to develop the training, so they can take all of the materials that you've brought and present them. I think it would be great if you actually did some presenting in your workplace. Some other resources, there's lots of stuff out there on human resource development. There are several journals, Advances in Developing Human Resources, HRD International, HRD Quarterly, HRD Review, and the book that I almost use, if you want to look it up, is the Handbook of Human Resource Development. So that, again, is a great resource. And then our association closest related to training, closest related to human resource development is AHRD, and that's Academy of Human Resource Development. So just some ideas. And then finally, thank you. I don't know what my web thing looks like, but I wanted you to get to know what I look like. It's all about training. The essence of training is to allow error without consequence, that we're not really learning if we're not making errors. And then please, I welcome your questions, your comments, your thoughts or ideas. I have not taught this course in about 10 years, and I started from scratch. So I'm really glad that you're here. Would love to hear from you. I think we have, I didn't even talk about my own hosted discussions. So for each one of our sections, I will be hosting a discussion on Zoom, and those dates are in the syllabus. Actually, the dates are in your schedule. You can use these discussions that I host as your working discussion, and then take bullet points from there. They are not mandatory. I'm not real keen on recording them because everybody's faces come up, and I'm really not planning to cover content, but more take a part of the discussion that's going on. So I'll probably, my guess is, answer more questions about that as we move forward. So thank you. I hope to see some of you Thursday evening.